Okay, welcome back. In this lecture 20, I will discuss about polymer stereochemistry and Ziegler-Natta coordination polymerization. These are the topics which I plan to cover in this lecture 20. Let us discuss constitutional isomerism, which was previously called structural isomerism. Molecules that have the same overall chemical composition, that is same molecular formula, but differ in connectivity are called constitutional isomerism. For example, if I talk about polymers, look at these three structures. They have same molecular formula C2H4O, but their connectivity are different in each molecule. So, these are example of constitutional isomerism, which were previously called structural isomerism. Other examples like polymethyl methacrylate and polyethyl acrylate, or you can imagine other polymers like some of the examples are shown here. So, these are the example, this pair and these three are the example of constitutional isomers. Next we will talk about stereoisomers. Now, stereoisomers have the same connectivity, but they differ in their configurations. What are configurations? If you recall from your early chemistry knowledge, that conformation is the relative orientation of atoms in space, which can be achieved independent of the spatial changes that can occur by rotation about single bond. So, if we can get different spatial arrangements by rotating the single bonds, then we do not call them as different configuration, but configuration other than those, configuration is the relative orientation in the space of the atoms. Whereas, when we get different orientation just by rotating the single bond, we call those structures as conformations, and we call this relative structure as conformation. Now, different types of configuration can be possible. For example, cis-trans configuration or cis-trans isomer or geometric isomers, which arises from the different configurations of substituents on a double bond or a cyclic structure. We can have different configuration or stereoisomers in this case. For example, we also know enantiomers, which arises from different configurations of substituents on a sp3 or tetrahedral carbon atom or other atom. So, these are the examples of stereoisomers because they have different configurations. Especially in case of polymers, we can have various tacticity, as we discussed earlier in the beginning, which arises from the regularity in the configurations of successive stereocenters in polymer backbone. We gave examples like isotactic and syndactic polymers, where isotactics means the orientation of the groups in the stereocenter are same when we go one after one, whereas in case of syndactic we got alternate arrangements of the groups around stereocenter, and atactic where there was no particular arrangement of these stereocenters. And these are examples of stereoregular polymers. Stereoregular polymers actually have significant effect about their property. So, if we change the, say from example, isotactic polystyrene to syndactic polystyrene or atactic polystyrene, the properties of the resulting polymer would be quite different from each other. Just to bring chirality in polymers in this perspective, chiral is the term used to describe objects which are non-superimposable on their mirror image. And we know if a small organic molecule has chiral center, they show optical activity. Simplest chiral molecules that have an sp3 hybridized carbon atom to which 4 different groups are attached, we call that particular carbon as asymmetric carbon and they show optical activity. Now, in case of polymers, for example, if you have general structure like this, now if you look at this carbon, actually this carbon has all the 4 these substituents are different, 4 groups which are attached to this carbon atom, they are all different. So, they are in true sense asymmetric because the 4 substituents are different. But in reality polymers do not show optical activity because effectively the substituents from this side or substitution on this side are effectively almost same. So, especially first 2 atoms or first 2 groups are same both sides. So, basically no significant optical activity is shown by this type of polymers because the polymer chains residues attached to the asymmetric carbon atom are almost identical. We can have optical activity from polymers, but that is a special case where that is because of conformational different conformational arrangement which is not scope of this course. Now, we move to next topic on polymerization of 1,3-butadiene and substituted butadiene. Now, for example, let us this substitute 1,3-butadiene. Now, if you recall your organic chemistry knowledge, this is the carbon number 1, this is 2, this is 3 and this is 4. Now, if you polymerize, we can either polymerize this double bond which will lead to 1,2 polymerization. If we polymerize this double bond, will lead to 3,4 polymerization, or we can actually have another 1,4 type polymerization as well. So, in this case we have this polymerization, we have 1,2 polymerization. In this case we have 3,4 polymerization. So, the polymerization is attacking on carbon number 3 and carbon number 4. We can also have in this case 1,4 polymerization. Now, this is more chances of this forming is more because when a active center either a cation radical or a anion happens, then it can actually participate in resonance conjugation to form and proceed the polymerization in this fashion. Now, this 1,4 polymers can also have 2 stereoisomers. For example, this is a double bond and we know that across the double bond we can have cis arrangement or trans arrangement. So, basically we can have a cis 1,4 polyisoprene, this is the isoprene molecule. So, this is the structure of natural rubber, and if you can look at this the structure that they are not very regular, hence this polymer cannot actually form orderly crystalline structure and as a result they are amorphous rubbery materials. Whereas, if we talk about Gutta Percha or Balata which are predominantly trans 1,4 isoprene, look at the structure, they are actually very orderly structure. So, they can So, many polymer chains actually come and order one after one to form crystalline domains. As a result, these trans 1,4 polyisoprene are hard and rigid material. So, basically these you can see the different stereoisomers from same polymer can have different morphology, and as a result they can have different properties altogether, as we have seen for natural rubber and gutta percha and balata. Now, in free radical polymerization for substitute 1,3-butadiene, a high portion of trans 1,4 repeat unit, especially if the reaction happens at reduced temperature. Now, that is because if we look at the propagation step, this is where your active center happens and this is a planar molecule. So, the next attack on this carbon atom would be from the other side because of steric other side of the plane because of the steric region, and as a result trans isomers are preferred. But if we increase temperature, then there is a possibility of rotation around this single bond, and as a result this loss of preference of trans isomers are kind of lost. So, as a result we also get cis form happening if we increase the temperature. So, basically if we do this reaction at lower temperature, we are likely to get trans isomer, but if we do at higher temperature we can get mixture of both trans and cis isomer. Now, if we do a anionic polymerization of this monomer in non-polar solvent, lithium ion has a counter ion, then this lithium ion will be tightly bound with this anionic propagating center, and the incoming monomer will actually coordinate with this like this, forming a 6-membered ring, and as a result we there is a similar arrangement of around this double bond, and as a result we get cis 1,4 repeat units in this case. Now, if we instead of non-polar solvent, if we use polar solvent, or if we use a larger cation other than lithium ion, then this tight ion pair formation is lost, and as a result this will be separated and the chances of forming trans 1,4 repeat unit will be much higher. So, anionic polymerization in non-polar solvent using counter ions other than lithium, or in polar solvent regardless of the counter ion, the stereochemical control, this control is lost. So, we are likely to get more what we got in earlier case, more trans isomer. For example, if you look at this table where butadiene, when you used free radical polymerization at lower temperature, we are getting more trans isomer. If we increase the temperature, some cis isomer is also forming, the extent of trans isomerization is coming down as we explained because of rotation around the single bond. But if we increase the substituent size, since from a butadiene to a isoprene, then this steric preference increases. So, at a same temperature, now you can see we are generating more trans isomer because the attack from the other side is more favorable because of the presence of more higher sized substituent. So, if you increase the size of the substituent and if we do at lower temperature, we are going to get likely to get more trans isomer. Look at the data for anionic polymerization of butadiene using lithium ion. When you use a non-polar solvent at 20 degree, you see this mostly cis isomer is forming, but when we use a polar solvent like diethyl ether, then this is lost, then we get 1,2 isomerization, then this preference of stereo control is lost. But if we increase the size of the substituent and we do a non-polar solvent, then you see even higher amount of a higher proportion of cis-1,4 isomer is produced. So, basically if we by looking at this table and with the understanding, we can use what is our target. If you want to use trans product trans 1,3-butadiene, then we should use a radical polymerization at lower temperature. If you want to do cis, then we should use anionic polymerization at with lithium ion as counter ion in a non-polar solvent and so on. So, this gives idea about what we should do if we want a specific type of polymer from 1,3-butadiene and substituted 1,3-butadiene. Now, we will discuss now about tacticity of polymer synthesized by radical or ionic chain polymerization in normal what we discussed earlier. Now, in this case the tacticity of a polymer is controlled by the stereochemistry of propagation center basically. Now, in case of a chain polymerization, for radical the propagating center is a radical, and for a cationic polymerization the propagating center is a cation, and for anionic polymerization it is anion. Now, when this propagating center is radical or cation, then this is a sp3 hybridized carbon. So, this is a planar molecule, and in case of anionic, although it is sp3 hybridized, but because of the presence of substituent Y, we remember that anionic polymerization only possible when the anion is stabilized by resonating substituent. As a result, you effectively get a double bond with the substituent and we get a sp2 hybridized carbon atom. So, basically in all these three cases we have a planar structure. As a result, when the next monomer attacks is basically generally attacks on the opposite side of the existing substituent. As a result, we generally have a tendency to form syn diatectic isomers. But again, if we increase temperature, then because of this rotation of this single bond as is shown here, then this stereo control is lost, then we are likely to get a random arrangement of this stereo center. So, we are more likely to get a attractive polymerization. So, once again if we do a polymerization at very low temperature, we might get a trans or syn diatectic arrangement, whereas if we do at a moderate to high temperature, we are likely to get a atactic polymers. And for isotactic, we cannot probably make with this simple radical polymerization. We need special technique, we will discuss a little later. Now, as we said that we cannot make very stereo specific or stereo regular polymers using radical or ionic polymerization, and that is overcome by this Ziegler-Natta polymerization, which basically uses coordination as a step, and we also call this Ziegler-Natta polymerization as coordination polymerization. Now, it was first discovered by Carl Ziegler in 1950s in Germany. He basically polymerized ethylene in presence of trialkyl aluminum at high temperature and pressure to get a oligomer type molecular weight, which the highest molecular weight was about 5000. So, this is not a useful polymer because this does not have a proper enough or required amount of mechanical properties for polyethylene to be applicable. But when he used along with this organometallic compound a transition metal compounds either titanium, vanadium or chromium, then this polymerization can be done at lower temperature and pressure, yielding high molecular weight polyethylene. This polyethylene also much less branched, and compared to the polyethylene synthesized by radical polymerization, as a result these polymers can actually crystallize and form more highly useful polymers, polyethylene. So, this has actually was a very giant discovery which actually enables synthesis of high molecular weight polyethylene, which is a very important and commonly used polymer. Later on, Natta in Italy 1965 used similar catalyst system, but instead of ethylene he showed that it can be actually used for alpha olefins like polypropylene or like propylene or propene, and using same catalyst described by Ziegler, he actually succeeded to get stereoselective polymerization, both isoselective as well as syn detective. And this was a huge achievement, since we just discussed that alpha olefins cannot be polymerized to high molecular weight polymers by radicals and other ionic initiators, especially with stereoselective or stereo control, like if you want isoselective, isotactic or syn detectic polymers. And as a result, Ziegler and Natta was combinedly given or awarded the Nobel Prize in 1963. So, this I think this year is probably there is a mistake in this year. There is a common example of commercial polymers by Ziegler-Natta polymerization are high density polyethylene, which are, the name suggests high density, that means it is highly crystalline. It is a low branching, highly crystalline, high density, and is denser, tougher, higher melting point because more regular structure which allows closer chain packing, and the applications are in films, packaging, sheets, tubing, wires and cables. High molecular weight HDPE, where the molecular weight is about 0.25 millions to 1.25 millions. Ultra high molecular weight HDPE, which has molecular weight higher than 1.5 million, which is a highly abrasive resistant and impraxtale. These are some of these ultra high molecular HDPE are used for knee replacement, when some knees are gone bad. So, these type of polymers are used for replacing knees. LDPE, low density polyethylene, which is polyethylene is copolymerized with slight amount of one olefin, and as a result some branching might happen, and as a result this is a very basically the branching happen, as a result we get low density. Polypropylene, which are very high strength, high melting point, very low density, and also polymers from 1,3-butadienes, which are, these are the common example of commercial polymers which are regularly synthesized by Ziegler-Natta polymerization. There are two types of catalysts which are used for Ziegler-Natta polymerization. One is heterogeneous and another is homogeneous. We will talk about that. The heterogeneous is a traditional Ziegler-Natta initiator which was originally used by Ziegler and Natta. So, in this case there are actually combination of two catalysts or two compounds. One is a transition metal compounds, which is elements from groups 4 to group 8. This is used as catalyst, and generally it is a halides or oxyhalides of titanium, vanadium, chromium and zirconium and so on. And the second one is a organometallic compound, as we discussed, alkyl aluminum, and this is actually a co-catalyst. So, these are hydrides or alkyls or aryls of metals such as this. And the most important from a commercial standpoint is either TiCl3 plus alkyl aluminum or TiCl4 and alkyl aluminum. And these organometallic compounds actually modify and activate the transition metal compounds for initiation. Now, for Ziegler-Natta polymerization, the catalyst preparation, for catalyst preparation we basically mix the components in dry condition and inert solvent are used in absence of oxygen, usually done at low temperature, and the catalyst having high reactivity towards many nonpolar monomers, high degree of stereoregularity, and the polymerization is generally carried out in a hydrocarbon solvent such as N-hexane. Now, in heterogeneous polymerization, now most of the Ziegler-Natta components participate in a complex set of reaction involving alkylation and reduction of transition metal components by group 1 to 3 components like TiCl4, Al3. So, basically it has 2 steps. Initially there is a exchange reaction between the 2 components we described. For example, this alkyl aluminum with TiCl4 producing these compounds and so on. This is very complex reaction setup, but this is what generally happens. This can happen actually depending upon what you are using, and this can also generate homologatively cleaved to form radical, which are basically quenched by combinations or disproportion with them or reaction with solvent. Now, these are basically what is used for catalyst in Ziegler-Natta polymerization, and there is mainly 2 mechanisms by which Ziegler-Natta polymerization are described. One is monometallic mechanism, another is bimetallic mechanism. I will just describe briefly about these 2 mechanisms in just coming slide. So, in monometallic mechanism, this one of the chlorine atom is removed. So, you get a vacant d orbital, and these are actually chlorine, and these are not shown just to make the picture less complicated. So, once this one chlorine is removed, you get a one vacant d orbital is generated on titanium, which actually complex with coordinate with the incoming monomer, and which actually form a complex, and as a result there is an insertion of this new monomer happen between titanium and carbon center, and later because of the migration of this chain to the original place, the stereoregularity is maintained. So, basically propagation occurs by insertion of monomer at a transition metal carbon bond, as we described transition metal carbon bond. There the insertion of the new monomer happened, and the monomer is first complexed or coordinate with the empty d orbital of titanium, and this is the insertion reaction, and because of the migration is basically re-establish the vacant site on the surface of the catalyst. In case of bimetallic mechanism, the active site is an electron deficient bridge complex formed between the reaction of titanium atom and this alkyl aluminum, and in this case this propagation happened by insertion of the monomer at the group 1,3 metal carbon atom. So, basically this is where the insertion happened, but at the first step coordination happens on the vacant orbital of titanium, and once the coordination happens, there is a partial charge which gives kind of a 6-membered complex intermediate formation, and which results in insertion of aluminum a new monomer between aluminum and carbon center. This is very quite complicated reaction mechanism. So, this is just briefly discussed, and generally for introductory courses this mechanism, students are not expected to understand the mechanism completely, but just for your understanding or basic understanding, you should able to remember or able to understand that there could be two in case of heterogeneous polymer Ziegler-Natta polymerization, there could be a monometallic mechanism and bimetallic mechanism. Now, in case of homogeneous before homogeneous we can just talk about the termination step. The termination can happen in case of Ziegler-Natta polymerization, like we had discussed for regular chain polymerization. Transfer can happen to monomers or internal hydrides transfer, or transfer to co-catalyst, or it can be quenched by addition of hydrogen and so on. So, this is just some equation you can go through how this termination happen. And in case of non-polar monomers, the reactivity of the monomers actually decreases with increasing the steric hindrance about the double bond. So, basically this is the order. As we increase the more and more steric hindrance of the monomer, that incoming the coordination, the possibility of the coordination with the titanium, that actually decreases because of the steric hindrance. So, the reactivity of the monomers for Ziegler-Natta polymerization decreases as we increase the steric hindrance about the double bond. Now, quickly homogeneous Ziegler-Natta polymerization happen, and that are used, metallurgines are used as a catalyst. Earlier the combination of these two were very popular as a metallurgine catalyst, but nowadays the most important metallurgine catalysts are based upon zirconocene dichloride derivatives, which are activated by reaction with methyl aluminooxane, or in short MAO or MAO. So, this is the structure of methyl aluminooxane MAO, and this is actually main catalyst is zirconium. This is activated by this co-catalyst MAO. And this is the typical or general structure of metallurgine catalyst, where M is zirconium, titanium, hafnium, and the X are chlorine or alkyl, and rest of the terms are given here. So, later on you can actually see these different groups which are basically useful for generating or obtaining a metallurgine catalyst. The metallurgine catalysis or homogeneous Ziegler-Natta catalysts have some advantages. Example, narrow molecular distribution than those prepared with homogeneous catalysis, better mechanical properties. Generally dispersities range of 2.25 compared to the heterogeneous catalysts, which have a much higher 5 to 6 dispersity value, and the molecular weight of metallurgine based polymers decreases with increasing polymerization temperature, increasing catalyst concentration, and addition of hydrogen to monomer feed. These are the some commercial polymers using heterogeneous Ziegler-Natta and metallurgine catalysis or homogeneous Ziegler-Natta polymerization, which most of them which are we discussed at the beginning. For example, using metallurgines we can synthesize syn diatectic polypropylene or syn diatectic polystyrene, isotactic polypropylene, so on. So, with this I conclude our discussion on Ziegler-Natta polymerization or coordination polymerization. Next I will talk about some to ring opening polymerization.